Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Benji, you ready? Awesome, hello everyone, welcome to the Ha Ha. Now you can cheer. Thank you. This is our final show this semester. This is my final show ever. I will no longer be funny after this. Benji's last show. Everyone give a round of applause to Benji Stern. Jack Spiegle's last show. Give a round for Jack Spiegel. We don't have to clap for anybody else because they can do this again. So they're going to be fine. But anyways, this show has been so important to me, and I'm so excited to be able to do it with you. Benji, is the music still running? No. Okay. I don't have anything to really... Let's see who's in the audience. Do we have any freshmen in the audience? What's great about these lights is I literally can't... Are you Zach? No, that's too long of hair. Okay. Any sophomores? Wonderful. Some sophomores working on their finals over at this table right here. Yeah, don't act like coy. You literally have I can only see you because you have your laptops on. Juniors? Yeah. And that's the sound of a junior. They're just like, yeah, I'm here. Friend in the front, I have to ask you, is there a cool story of what happened to your leg, or is it sports related? Split basketball. Yeah, it wasn't that cool. Okay. My dad's in the audience right now. He wanted to surprise me, and then he left his location on Find My Friend. So I knew he was been coming for all day. But anyway, I'm going to get our first comedian introduced right here. He's here to knock your socks off and see some feet. Give it up for William Jinkins.
I miss the Oak House, but this isn't bad. I'd say it's a little worse with stand-up comedy because you guys won't be drunk, but we make do. We are here to celebrate our seniors that are leaving us, as Sprig mentioned. Thankfully, I'm a sophomore, so I still got 2 more years left before I have to kill myself. I'm not looking forward to this job market, guys. Good thing I got a coupon. My 5-year plan right now, China bombs us in year 3. It's tough. I didn't get an internship this summer, not for lack of trying, but there's 4th and 5th rounds. I can barely last one most of the time. I feel like our parents had it easy, right? You just put on a nice suit and tie, print your resume, go into the manager's office, give him a firm hand job, and you got the position. Easy. That's the problem. Now, I got rejected left and right. One, I was particularly sad about, Palantir rejected me, the surveillance company. Well, I didn't apply, but they knew I was thinking about it. They just kind of went, no. So yeah, more nice summer plans. There's a job I'm looking at. Tim Cook retired as CEO of Apple. I don't think it fit the bill. I mean, if anyone has any connections. Here's my idea for the next iPhone right now. We're on 17, skip straight to 20. That's a much better number. It's like change the volume on your TV. The next iPhone, it should either be bigger or smaller. Either way, it's $100 more. There's more job opportunities out there. For example, rumor has it that Kash Patel is leaving as head of the FBI. There are some creative differences, The government wanted to secure the security of our country, and Kash Patel had other plans. And, he finally figured out that FBI doesn't stand for female body inspector, which really, that was the nail in the coffin. If I wanted to, I am qualified enough to run for president if recent trends have held true. But, I don't get good at the job, There's just too many people gunning for the position right now. There is one position still open, and taking applications. I am single. I know, you're so surprised. You're looking at me and you're thinking, William, you're 5'11". You have a great personality and a big credit score. Who wouldn't want you? And when I was a kid, my grandmother told me that I'd have to beat away ladies with a stick. And instead I just have to beat my stick. Now, I've been pretty desperate before. I think the worst thing I've ever done, there's this girl I like who did tutoring for engineering classes. So I thought, hey, it might be a good idea to, schedule a session for a class I wasn't taking. Do you have any idea how hard it is to try to flirt while doing math you don't even fucking understand, guys. It's awful. It's like, fluid dynamics? Yeah, I think our dynamics are pretty fluid. Magnetic attraction. So you feel something too. I think you're inducing some heat into my closed system. You can induce heat into a closed system. She told me that. Needless to say, I did not get a second date. I did go back to more tutoring. Third grade dynamics, really interesting stuff, believe it or not. I talk about getting into a relationship the same way Elon Musk talks about going to Mars. It's like, in 10 years, it's an inevitability, but the technology is there, we just don't have the funding. Like, and even when I'm in a relationship, I still get unlucky. I remember back in high school, I got into this really big fight with my friend over the person I was dating. And like, I'm from the Midwest, so like yeah, represent. But like, it was still upsetting because this is one of my best friends. Like, and I expected him to like support me, to have my back. And we actually stopped being friends over this, all because he didn't approve of the fact that I was dating his girlfriend. Awful. It was awful. I think I'm almost out of time, so I'm going to use my last few 30 seconds just to say a big thank you to Sprig. I remember when I came in here as a freshman, I took their stand-up class in J-term, and it was really awesome. So I just want to say a heartfelt thank you. I don't the lights, guys. I'm looking for the hat. There it is. I just want to say a heartfelt thank you for giving me a place where I can kind of do something I really enjoy and hopefully get better at it, judging by tonight. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being. Good night.
William Jinkins, everybody. Give it up again. One more time. Amazing. We weren't sure about William Jinkins at first, but he does have very soft hands, so we got him in. Next up, we've got an awesome comedian for you. After only 30 minutes, she decided she no longer had the brain power to write an intro after what this week was. So without further ado, I give you Lily Cyprow.
Shy as a kid, and people would think this is because I didn't want to talk, maybe I was scared. Really, I just didn't want to be talking to them, okay? Not my fault they're boring. I love to talk a lot, so much so to the point my grandma used to tell me I was going to run out of words one day. Wasn't quite aware that life had a maximum word count, and I'm still really scared for the day that happens. But you know, my parents, they were really good parents. They really encouraged me, pushed me out of my bubble, really wanted me to spread my wings. And after many years of my dad telling me to shut up, I realized they just didn't want to be talking to me. It's fine, I did it. I think they regret that now because the phrase stranger danger lost all meaning. A creepy white man could approach me, and before they even have time to offer me the candy, I'm asking if they want company. Who doesn't love a good road trip? Bonus points if there's puppies in the van, okay? Anyways, in my past life, I'm pretty sure I was a bird. I have a lot of things in common with birds, weirdly. You know, they just chirp, chirp, chirp all day long. You put a blanket over them, they fall asleep. And word on the street is, if they poop on you, it's good luck. And another fun fact about birds is they don't see glass, okay? And a few weeks ago, I went to visit my friend, and I saw her outside, and I got so excited that I started running. That was the day I learned I also don't see glass. No idea where that big window came from, but I can tell you, it hurt really bad when I whacked my head on it. And another really valuable life skill that I'm missing is the ability to have a casual hookup. Okay, recently I was handed the perfect situation. I took a guy to formal, he doesn't go here, I promise he's real. He was a friend of a friend, you know, perfect scenario, sake of my ego, I wish I could say I was surprised. But I've always been the disappointment child. Thanks, guys. For starters, we've never gone to school together, and I would tell this to people, and they just assume it's because I didn't get in. I actually never applied, thank you. I was trying to save myself that embarrassment. I guess it didn't work. He's graduating from West Point, so I'm also never living up to that. And I try to wear Elon merch, and I'm getting the weirdest looks because people think it's Elon Musk. Sorry, he's rich enough he doesn't need to be making merch. Okay, let's use our common sense. And I also learned recently that he got 5s on all of his AP tests. Well, I applied test optional, and you can't do that for West Point. So suck on that. Thank you very much, guys.
Give it up for Lily, everybody. I was totally ready to introduce another person. Yay. I'm just gonna introduce the next comedian. She's here to make her roommates listen to her set for the 8th time. It's Antonina, everybody. Give it up, come on. Oh, God.
Well, I can't see anything. All right. So yes, my roommates are here. We're living in our first apartment this semester. It's also the world's first apartment, like ever. When they said that we were living in Old Trollinger, I did not think that they meant the 18th century. When I tell you that nothing in this apartment works, like it was made in the last 200 years, I'm not kidding. We're learning a lot about the way that people used to live back then. For example, our oven handle is just metal. So it gets too hot to touch whenever you use it. This means that whoever made it either didn't understand heat conduction or was actively trying to kill whoever was living there at the time. I would say either one dates our apartment at about 1789, so that's been really fun to figure out. Yeah, so I have one really simple roommate requirement, and it's that they are able to read my mind. Yeah, luckily I found 2 psychics to live with, so that works out great for everyone. I know they're psychic because every time I even think about using the kitchen, they always seem to be in there first. It's kind of weird, but yeah, I love my roommates. We all work really well together. We're very self-sufficient. Our house has a BYOB policy, which obviously stands for bake your own bread. It's always a toss-up what food I'll get home to, because sometimes it's a really nice sourdough loaf, and other times I'll open our freezer and see an entire deer in Ziploc bags. As someone that practices choice vegetarianism, seeing 8 bags of tenderloin next to my frozen vegetables was very much a culture shock for me. Yeah, so one roommate hunts, and the other one supplies our house with beer that she takes from frats. So our fridge kind of looks like what I imagine Ron Swanson's would if it were a 20-year-old girl from Brooklyn. Yeah, growing up in an apartment in Jersey City, I was not introduced to the hunter-gatherer lifestyle, but since we're now being forced to live in the 1700s, it's become necessary for survival. Our apartment used to be 3-bed, 2-bath, and I say used to because since moving in, my roommate's bathroom door has completely come off its hinges. Yeah, so we are transitioning to an open floor plan, not by choice, but I hear it's what they have over in New Trollinger, so I'm really excited to see what that looks like. Yeah, I used to be really upset when my parents would be really strict about screen time, but now that I'm older, I see where they're coming from. Once I started having to reply to emails, I realized that we immediately fucked up as a society. I think it's not too late to go back to using carrier pigeons. It's better for the environment, everyone gets a cool bird as a pet, and they don't use Microsoft Office. So I see no downsides whatsoever. I also just hate using my phone, like, as a phone. I called my best friend from home the other day. I've known her since 7th grade. I love her, we text every single day. Calling her was the hardest thing that I've had to do all semester. I'm not exaggerating. I think phones just, like, aren't fun anymore. It used to be an event, and, like, you got someone at Stonewall. If you didn't get that, please talk to a gay person, like, immediately, please, oh my god. No, I think my parents prepared me really well for life. I'm really grateful. When I was younger, I told them that I wanted to be a rockette, and they immediately started teaching me how to bartend. I came home from jazz class when I was 9 years old, and instead of like practicing math problems, I was taught how to make old fashions. This proved very useful. It's not that they didn't have faith in me, it's more so that they didn't have faith in like New York market rate rent. But the other thing that I'm really grateful for is they got me baptized, because that did two things. One, my head when I was a baby, so clean. No. But the other thing is that it actually got me into comedy, and I'll explain. The homily at church was, I think, my first introduction to stand-up. And if you don't know what the homily is, it's basically like a book review that the priest does for the Bible. And I always like that they give the priests little assignments, because what else are they doing? Besides, like, the children. Yeah. No, I think I was not destined for Catholicism, and I knew this when I tried giving up Minecraft for like 1 year. I could not do it. No, I had my priorities sorted by the time I was 11, and I was willing to risk God's wrath to play Bed Wars. Totally worth it. But there is one thing that I do like about the Catholic Church right now, and that's that the Pope is from Chicago. The only reason that I like this is because it pretty much guarantees that he knows who the New York Knicks are, and if there's a God up there, they need him right now. So, thank you.
Antonina, amazing. She's been such a great addition this semester. Thank you. Thank you very much. Maybe if you beg. Next up, we have a new face joining us this show. He's a singer, photographer, good-looking, and funny. He's from Winston-Salem and a senior music major here at Elon. Please give it up for Femi John.
Hello. Okay. So I really can't see you up here, but that's okay, because I know I'm the most important thing right now. How are y'all doing tonight? Good. Awesome. I wrote some stuff down, but I really wrote down one thing, one important thing that I want to address. First of all, the elephant in the room. Clearly, I am probably the most melanated person in the room right now, and that's okay, guys. That's okay. But in that being true, I want to first of all start off by letting y'all know it is okay to laugh, because I am, like you heard, my name is Femi John. I'm not American, I am African, so when I speak in an African accent, it's okay to laugh, y'all. It's okay to laugh. I love using it sometimes though, because it makes the white people uncomfortable. I use it helps out every now and then, because you go to the grocery store, and when you're doing something, taking something you're not supposed to, you go to check out the fruit and you're not supposed to be taking it. Y'all know you're supposed to pay for that? I didn't. But I get over there, and then the cashier lady comes up, and I'm from North Carolina, like you heard, so it's Southern lady, and she comes up and she's like, "Excuse me, sir, you're not supposed to be taking them apples, sir." And I'm like, "Oh, auntie, I don't speak English. I don't know. I don't know. You said what? Take apple. I take it, I bet." And I just walk out. And I've been banned from 42 Food Lions in the state of North Carolina. But it's okay. It's okay. We gotta eat. Elon ain't cheap, y'all. We gotta eat somehow. Just don't mention my name in there. Sharon's looking for me still. But no, it's okay to laugh when we use the accents, because it's culture, it's true, it's what we do, it's how we are. Like I said, we are not from here. My parents biologically are from Tanzania. I have two adoptive parents, not actually adoptive, but that's a story for another day. But two people that love me just like their kid. They're from Nigeria, and they gave me my second name. It's actually kind of funny how they gave it to me. Africans, especially Nigerians, when they name you, really what they're doing is they're attaching a key to your soul. so they can forever call on your soul and choke it whenever they want you to behave. That's how Africans actually name you. They don't just give you some name that they can just slap on there, you know, like Mike and Tommy and Sport and whatever, you know. I don't know what they name people these days. But Africans, they're looking for a way to like keep your soul in chains. Like they want enough. So because it all started one morning in COVID, I'll never forget it. My mom was going through the list of, I have 8 siblings, so she was waking us up to do chores. Yeah, it's a full house. And she was waking us up to do chores, and she went through the list. It was, Adolwa, Iriolua, Olwaloniba, Daminare, Mobosan Africa, Yomi, Damirola, John. And she was like, you know, it just didn't ring. It didn't ring. It didn't roll up the tongue quite as well. So she was like, you know, this boy, your name is not enough. You know, I don't feel like I'm disturbing your soul. You know, because when they call you, they're really just like she could tell that you were resting and finally at peace with the world. I felt like Oogway at the beginning of Kung Fu Panda. You know, it was great. But then your mom comes up, and it's like if Oogway was about to turn into the flowers and disappear, but Africans, they'll grab every flower, and they'll just keep it in a bucket, so you're not going anywhere. You stand right here with me. And so my mom gave me the name. She said, your name will now be Oluwanifemi John. And I was, you know, that Oluwanifemi is now my first name. And that's where Femi comes from. So I haven't had it for long, only 6 years, but my parents still use it every now and then whenever they want to slap me or let me know that I'm about to be slapped. It's a good warning sign. I appreciate it, especially because it's long. You got like at least 0.4 seconds before you can duck a slap. You know, like, yeah. They say it, they're like, Oluwani, just go ahead and duck. Just go ahead and duck. Hit the ground. It's not going to go well. But by the way, with Africans too, is if you duck a slap, they take that as a chance to fight. Like you're ready to fight. So I'll never forget the time. My mom went to go for my sister because we were talking back, you know? But she ducked, and then my dad, 6 foot, 300 pounds of muscle, took it as a threat to his wife's life. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And we were all in the vicinity, so it's every man for himself. I started running. I was gone down the street. I moved cities immediately. I didn't know what was happening. I think my sister's still good. I don't remember, but she might be missing some teeth. She did have braces for a while. But it's okay. I have been African my whole life, as you can tell. If you didn't pick up on that, then I really don't know what to tell you, honestly. But the thing about Africans, one of the key things about Africans is when they come from Africa, they come and they plan out your whole life. And I mean, I know parents, they like to have your life plan. Oh, you get older, you go to school, you go to college, you get a job. No, Africans, they don't just, when I say they plan out your life, I mean your days, like individual days. I remember when they want you to do well. Like Africans, they're like, you will succeed in every aspect of your life, but it will be your education. They have this, my mom's favorite phrase, my favorite saying was, you must marry your books, impregnate your education, and give birth to success. That's it. That's all you were created to do. That was it. And so my mom, I remember when I was 10 years old, my dad, he didn't play about education. I was laying on the couch watching, I don't know, SpongeBob, Avatar: The Airbender, Danny Phantom, Black Rat, something. And my dad, he could sense, I knew it, because they have this sense when their children are finally enjoying their lives and not wanting to die. So my dad arose from his bed and came downstairs and pulled this book out of the blue called Prefixes and Latin Suffixes and said, at 10 years old, I was 10 years old, and he sat me down, he said, you will memorize everything that's in this book, and you must write it 20 times, each one. I'm gonna tell you right now, to this day, I have no idea what I learned back then, but I did have a 52-page dissertation by the time I was 12. It was great, it was really cool. And then my mom, same thing. By the time I turned 8th grade, because that's how you say that. When I got to 8th grade, that's what I'm trying to say. When I finally got to 8th grade, my mom, they're already on the jump. Like I said, they have your days planned out. I kid you not. I came back home for my first day in 8th grade. I was like, Mom, I had a great first day. She was like, great. Whip out the SAT practice test and get started. Every week you're going to have a new score, and it's going to be uploaded in my phone, and I want to know how you're improving. So every Saturday I had to sit with my mom. But I'll never forget this one time we were doing the SATs. They left on a trip to see my brother. And he was down in Atlanta at the time. And so he came, they were on their way back up. We were all supposed to have a new SAT test prepped out. brother was trying to watch something on the TV. He wasn't supposed to be watching something on the TV. And I was drinking water in the living room. I wasn't supposed to be drinking water in the living room. But my brother, he was trying to do something. I don't remember. I told him to pass me the remote. He threw it to me, and it lands in my cup of water. And my first thought was, man, that's pretty impressive. I didn't know he could do that. He could actually shoot like LeBron and Kobe. You know, he's not that bad. Maybe there's something to this whole melanin thing. We should get into it. But then the next thought was, oh, snap. Mom's on the way home. We gotta go. And I kid you not, I half thought of burning our house to the ground and saying that we were attacked. But that was a little dramatic. So I decided the next solution was just to hide it in the couch. My parents walked in, thankfully, at that exact time. And what happened was I left my brother with my mother alone. And she asked him what happened. And because we left the rice on the counter, we forgot. You know, the first thing you try when you drop it to the water is you put it in rice. And she comes home and said, what happened? And he was like, oh, well, your little siblings just start messing up. You know, I don't know about y'all, but my younger siblings, there's nothing like the original, you know, your parents did it right the first time. You just really didn't want it. And so, you know, then my mom, she didn't take any more questions. She immediately took off her left shoe, had me kneel down, had him kneel down, and we were there. We went down at 8 p.m., got up at 12 a.m. With 2 bigger butts than I ever imagined. If you ever trying to grow your butt size, go to an African and piss them off. Let them whoop your tail till it's 14 sizes bigger, y'all. I promise you, Cardi B ain't got nothing on us back then. It was crazy. But that's pretty much it. I don't really got much else to say other than I hope the biggest thing that y'all understand in this life is that African children, you know, we have it tough. We have it rough. But, you know, no, not the ones back in the country. I'm talking about the ones in America. The ones back home have it great. They're living the dream. Here in America, it's struggling. We're struggling. It's really bad. But, you know, we're doing a good job. We try. We survive. But I'm grateful for my parents. They taught us a lot. They had a lot of love. They'll feed you till you're full. I grew 18 feet because I used to be 2 feet tall. And I grew another 4 feet because they fed me so well. But if you ever get the chance, I recommend making an African friend. You'll never regret it until they make you do the dishes and mop the floors. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. My name is Femi John. Y'all keep up with me.
Give it up to Femi, everybody. Femi, you are correct. You might be the most melanated person to ever come to this show. We've really been working on that. I'm really happy you performed. That was awesome. It was surprising. Femi, are you in Twisted Measure? I was really surprised that you're wearing shoes on stage. It's a different world, and stand-up will wear shoes? Okay. No free feet here at Tap House. I mean, if you check in with William, he is excited to see people's feet. Anyways. Oh, yeah, I'm introducing somebody. After being around the world, the best thing he saw was a monkey by the name of Punch the Monkey. Coming off a show at Osaka Comedy Club? That's cool. Welcome for the last time, Jack Spiegle, everybody.
Hello, thank you. Oh, wow, it really is bright up here. Hi to everyone on my Instagram thing. I want to give a shout out to Benji. He got me into stand-up comedy. I've loved this hobby. I hope to continue it through my adulthood in Cleveland, Ohio. If anyone ever wants to come to a show. So yeah, I finished all my credits first semester, which meant that I had all the free time to travel the world. Starting January 6th, I went to Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, China, Japan, Philippines, Indonesia, and Australia. So many beautiful places America should colonize. The first place was a place called Thailand. I was at Bangkok, Thailand. Does anyone here know what a ping pong show is? So for those of you who don't know, in the red light district of Thailand, they have these things called ping pong shows where these incredible ladies do magical tricks using the thing that makes them a lady. The reason it is called a ping pong show is because the main act is they hand out ping pong paddles to everyone in the stands and they shoot ping pong balls at you out of across the room from me know, I used to play in ping pong tournaments. I was like Marty McFly, slinging pink pussy juice everywhere. They did other tricks, they would smoke a cigarette, they would shoot darts. They could also write messages. Welcome to Thailand, Jack. But I spent about 25 days in the Philippines, went to some very remote islands. It's crazy. I'd be driving by a schoolyard and I would yell 6'7", and these kids would go ballistic, other side of the world. I haven't seen the world this united since MJ dropped Thriller. The kids don't even know what 6'7" means. They just know that this equates to a spike in tourism. I had some fun when I was abroad. I downloaded Tinder just to see what the scene was like. I was able to score a date in Zhangjiajie, China, and on the way to the date, I'm talking to the Uber driver. He looks at me and says, he was looking at the road, but he says to me, "Hey man, your English is really good." Thanks. So then we go on the date, we're at an arcade. She's trying to impress me, so she says, "Hey, by the way, my English teacher said I speak at a 3rd grade level." I'm like, "That's gross, don't tell me that." Would have loved to have taken her home with me to the States, but Trump put a tariff on things made in China. Let's say I go to her and I become Chinese and get citizenship. One of the benefits is China is one of 2 countries that is allowed to visit North Korea. Pyongyang Marathon, anyone? No? Say what you want about the isolation. It's kind of cool. There's 26 million people in a civilization that don't know who the Rizzler is. Yeah, the dictatorship is bad, but they did a great job with Squid Games. I know Squid Games was made in South Korea, but where do you think they got the inspiration from? Just picture a soldier looking over the border like, damn, those living conditions suck for them. This would do numbers on Netflix. But no, I was on my phone a lot. I was on my phone way too much because I was solo traveling. One of the things that I did was BuzzFeed quizzes. There was this one that said, "We can guess your sexuality in 2 questions." I'm like, no way you could do that. First question, what's your gender? Second question, what gender are you attracted to? They were able to guess my sexuality within 2 questions. But no, the main thing I did, doom scrolled Instagram a lot. They have this new feature where with the push of a button, you can repost anything you see. I'm scrolling one day and I see someone reposted that said, "How many times a month should a man experience physical intimacy?" That is such a disturbing thing for my dad to repost. Could have just DM'd that to my mom instead of sharing it with his 43 followers. I'm scared. What if one day I accidentally repost OnlyFans content? I don't actually subscribe, but I was researching the joke. Leading star, her name's Sophie Rain. She announced that for the month of June, she is going to be donating all of her revenue to Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Do you guys think Elon would give me service hours for jerking off? I don't even need the service hours. I'm just doing it for the kids. Oh, man. I was a kid once. I was born June 10th, 2003. A day after my birthday is June 11th, 2003. We're following along. 9 months before that day was September 11th, 2002, the 1-month anniversary. Whenever people say, "Man, I bet the Jews did it on 9/11, I'm like, stop reminding me of my conception. I was a kid. Also, when I was a kid, I was pretty fat. In 4th grade, I started something called the Triple Digit Club. I'm sure you can guess for that one. I missed the 1600s. In the 1600s, it was cool to be fat because it meant you could afford food. But a big reason I got fat is because growing up, once a week, I would go out to lunch with my grandpa, and they had unlimited soft drinks, did about 1,000 calories in sugar every day. When they say your grandkids should inherit one of your traits, they were talking about the diabetes pops. Elon's a great school. I really love it here. Elon is so perfect and so inclusive, except for the printers. For those of you who don't know, on the printers I use, they slapped a sticker on it that says black and white. It's good. I can use it, you can use it, it's fantastic. But there's these really high-tech printers. It can print out black, white, red, blue, yellow, the whole spectrum. So the only problem is they put a colored sticker on there. I can't use it. Like, I could have sworn Lyndon B. Johnson banned this in the 1964 Civil Rights Act. I mean, like, what happens if a teacher asks me to print out a rainbow? I'm screwed. As you said before, I do need an African friend for that. Oh no, but being a kid is cool. Now I'm grown up, I'm about to go into the workforce. I was a finance student, which going to the workforce is cool and all, except I'm pretty underqualified. I feel like an elderly dog at a shelter, like, you can call me a good boy, rub my belly all you want, but I know you're picking someone else. I know I'm not getting the job. Lucky for me, my dad runs the adoption agency, and by adoption agency, I mean a financial advising firm at Bank of America. To everyone in the crowd that worked hard and doesn't have a job, I'm sorry. But no. But even though this is like kind of a sure thing, I still have to go through an official interview process to secure the job. I'm kind of excited for it. It's like, how will you and your boss handle conflict? I think my mom will help that out. What is the most important thing on your resume? My last name. Who is your inspiration in life? Bronny James. I'm Jack Spiegle. Thank you very much for 2 great years of comedy.
Producer next year, and I get the honor of introducing our next comedian. Our next comic is not great with Gen Z slang. He loves John Mulaney almost as much as I do. Really heavy on the almost. He's been doing stand-up comedy since sophomore year and making people laugh for a long time before that. Not always on purpose. His name is Benji Stern.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. How we doing? How we feeling? Feeling good? Good. It has been 2.5 years of stand-up comedy at Elon University with the Haha. It's been an awesome ride. I remember the first time I ever stood up here, I ever did stand-up comedy. I had to audition first, and I got encouraged by the one and only Kai Swanson to audition. The audition was it was me alone in a studio with the professor and Lauren Boulia, if anybody remembers her. Shout out Boulia. And it was in Jane and Brian Williams' studio, and I just know they would be so disappointed with what was happening in there at that time. Like, just my little comedy set just bombing in front of these 2 people. Which is, it's great. It's we've improved slightly from then, and I'm excited for a good show today. So. I remember that actually, that audition. It was right after spring break. And I had, just before spring break, I got a call from my mom. And she said, "Hey, Benj," I'm Benj. She said, "I know you were excited to go to the Grand Canyon, because, you know, we were going to go on a helicopter ride, climb some rocks. It was going to be a good time. But instead, I wanted to take us to Alabama." And so that was not the call I wanted to get from my mom. That sucked. But I got on the plane, and I get up to the first row. And in the first seat on the first row is this very scraggly looking man. He has like a white beard and just veiny feet. He's wearing flip-flops on an airplane. which is disgusting and horrendous. And please don't do that. Nolan Brooks, looking at you. But that wasn't even the weirdest thing about him, you know, because he was also wearing a Impeach Biden t-shirt. Too loud of a cheer right there. That's too loud. And it was too late. We already had so much Biden. It was like 3.5 years into Biden. We didn't it was too little, too late, you know. And the guy in front of me was just taking forever with his suitcase to put it up. And so I'm just sitting here, and I don't want to look at his feet. I don't want to look at his shirt. So I just salute him and keep walking. But no, I got to Alabama. The beach was surprisingly nice. You know, they got white sandy beaches, warm air. But we get to the beach, and it's filled with these creatures. I think they're called teenagers. And it was, I mean, they were doing teenager things. They were playing spike ball. They were flirting. It was disgusting. These prepubescent fucks. It was just disgusting. But I was determined to have a good time with my younger brother, Danny. Shout out to him. He's nowhere to be found tonight. He goes here, actually. President of Club Frisbee, Dork. Shout out to him. Yeah. Let's hear it for Club Frisbee. Love Club Frisbee. So we went out on the beach. I had my trusty hack sack with me, and so we're hacking the sack, and he sucks it. He's surprisingly one of the least athletic people I've ever met. I don't know how he's the president of this club, but he can't kick it, and eventually we're kicking it, and I just grab it and I whip it at him as hard as I can. It hits him in the chest. And we just started laughing, and he grabbed it at one point, whipped it at me, and we started this game. We called it Death Sack, and the rules are very simple. You hacky for a little bit, hacky, and then you grab the sack, you grab the sack, grab the sack, and you whip it as hard as you can at the other person. It's great, you know, you hate your brother, so you just want to grab the sack. So, you know, we're playing and we're having a good time, and he whips it right at my neck, and it leaves this purple welt, and it was not a good look, and so we call it a day. Hurt like hell. We get up to the room. My mom made spaghetti. It's not great, and I turn to gag because it's disgusting, and she catches a glimpse of my neck, and she's like, Benji, we're on a family vacation. What are you doing? I'm like, Danny gave it to me, okay? And we're in Alabama. It's not a good look. So we, I love the beach. I miss the beach. I was just in Hilton Head. Anyone ever been to Hilton Head? Yeah, great time. A lot of people go to the beach. They spend time. They like to tan. I think it's like an aesthetic thing. People are really like people are self-conscious. I'm self-conscious too. Like I get it, you know. But it's a thing now. People are more, aware of their image. And I think there's like an influencer thing about it. You guys know Clavicular? Have you guys heard of this guy? Okay. Louder than I expected, actually. You spend too much time online. I do too. That's how I know. I get it. But yeah, hey, who doesn't know who this person is? Cheer louder, please. Okay, good. So for those of you who don't know, he's like this influencer guy. It's like alpha male. It's a bunch of bullshit. But he is all about the mog. You know about the mog? Oh my God, I know the mog. He knows about the mog. I didn't understand the mog. I thought I was mogging. I had a cup of coffee and a mog, and I was drinking it. It wasn't good. That was for Nia. There we go. All right, that was more for me. But yeah, he also does this looks maxing bullshit. You heard of this? Yeah, you know. You're smiling too much not to know about look max. He looks maxes. It's like something with like a hammer, and he's like trying to improve his jawline. Yeah, bone smack. You fucking watch way too much of that shit. So yeah. Anyway, but I like the maxing part of it. You know, like I've been laundry maxing for years. This is where I wear all of my clothes until I can do the maximum amount of laundry possible, and do like 3 loads at once. I've been snack maxing. You guys know about snack maxing? Yeah, it's where you sit alone in your underwear at 2 a.m. and gorge yourself with Oreos and goldfish. Fucking orgasmic. Amazing. But I think the whole like looks maxing phenomenon and all this shit is like, you know, he wants to get girls, which I don't have that problem. I have 2 years. I have been dating the beautiful, the wonderful Allie Gerson, who's joined us tonight. Shout out to her. She's expensive though, I will say. I think I would have saved a lot of money, and I probably could have had enough money to buy everyone drinks here tonight. I wouldn't have done it, but I would have had the money. But I love her so much, and I remember, like, when I first saw her, I just wanted to kiss her, you know? No? Okay. She didn't feel the same way. But, you know, what do you do when there's a girl, you're in sophomore year, and you want to give her a little kiss? What do? I'll tell you. You invite her over to your frat house living room to watch a movie, of course. So I Snapchat her, you know, late at night, and you up? How you doing? How you doing? No, delete the how you, just the you up. That's all good. And she responded yes. She came over for the movie. We're scrolling through Netflix, and you know, we come across really like a star-studded cast. Matthew McConaughey, Reese Witherspoon, Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, great movie, great cast. It's about this eclectic billionaire who's like trying to save his business. You guys know the movie? It's the animated musical comedy Sing, about the most romantic movie you can get. So we turn on Sing, and you know, I'm not making any moves. It's dry. It's very dry in that room. So, you know, I'm not putting an arm over her shoulder. I'm not counting shoulders. I'm not doing anything. And we get to the end of Sing, the entirety, 139 minutes of Sing, and we're sitting about a foot apart, very, very far in those couch terms, and she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her. And I lean in, and I say, "Wanna watch Sing 2?" I know, it's not my best work. It's not, but we turned on Sing 2, and we watched the entirety of Sing 2 again. Not making any moves the entire time. And we get to the end of the movie, and she gets up to go, and I say, "Wait, Allie, I'm not suave." And she said, "No, you're not." And she leans in to kiss me, and right before she does, she says, "Are you wearing an Impeach Biden t-shirt?" Thank you very much. My name is Benji Stern. Thank you.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Antonina, and I'm going to be taking over as the other pop-up producer for next year. So, I was told that I have to do this. This final comic has been humbly pushing the art of stand-up comedy to Elon's campus for the past 4 years. While it can be said that only one of those years was truly funny, we will definitely miss them as they go on to bigger and better things when in post-grad life. They are excited to share that they have a job lined up, being a pilot for Spirit Airlines. Give it up one last time for Sprig Arno!
Thank you, everybody. Oh, it's Benji's notebook. Yeah, no, I'm excited for my job that I wrote that intro a week ago. So, as I mentioned earlier, my dad is here. Everyone give a round of applause for him. And I thought I'm kind of brought to tears because when I was a kid, he really never came to things. And him to drive 5 hours just to see me perform my last show, it was truly heartwarming. So if you don't know what this is a state of Georgia motor vehicle registration tag. So my dad didn't come to see my show. He drove 5 hours to place a sticker on my car, and it just so happened that I had a show tonight. Dad, you know the mail system exists, right? I know that we don't trust like USPS, but I think you could have figured something out.
Yes, it's too expensive.
So a 5-hour car drive at these gas prices was an option? So I applied to, as you can tell, I have a terrible fashion sense. And I'm graduating this year, which is a terrible, terrible thing to happen. I actually applied to be commencement speaker, and on the application I wrote, I will do a 10-minute speech about the most comfortable chairs on campus. And for some reason, I didn't get the gig. So now you get to hear what I actually would have done as my speech. And as all good Elon stories start, I was on the tour. I actually didn't want to go on the Elon tour. I had my heart set on University of Missouri. Go Tigers. You know they invented homecoming? Yeah. Are you a big University of Missouri person? Yeah. That's cool. That's the end of that crowd work. No, no, I really wanted to go there, and my dad was like, "No, you've seen a big school. I want you to like see a medium to small size school." So I go on the tour, and you gotta give it to tour guides. Like, give a shout for tour guides. They really make us feel like zoo animals. When you're just trying to chill in the library. So my tour guide had rainbow hair, which was awesome because then my dad was already not interested in this tour. But I fell in love with this campus because he hated it, and I just loved it here so much that when I went to the the gift shop, afterwards, I bought 2 things. I'm going here. That's what that means. I can't even remember what I bought, but I go to Pandora's with my dad and my mom. I sit down. I'm like, "Dad, I want to go to Elon." And he says to me, "Are you sure? It's really expensive." You made me go on that tour. So I've been at Elon for 4 years out of spite. And it's probably one of the top 10 best decisions I've ever made out of spite. At least top 20. But I really love it here because it's just a beautiful campus. There's no trash on the ground, which is impressive because I'm always looking for a trash can. But Elon Landscaping works so hard picking up all the trash we leave and spraying the grass green, and it's really, really good. I love them here. I also love our professors, how we're able to really contact them and be in touch with them. My first email I ever wrote a professor. So I need you to imagine this. So I'm fresh off a gap year. I just went to summer camp. I have a lot of knives. And I want to know how many I can bring. So I email Evan Small, who is an outdoor education professor, "Hey, what size knife can I bring to campus?" He responds, "Hey Sprig, thanks for reaching out. Here's campus police." And he's been nice to me for these 4 years, and I'm sure it has nothing to do with him being worried. I came into Elon undecided, as we all do, and then I was a psych major, because I was trying to figure out what's going on up here. And then my junior spring, I had to take behavioral neuroscience, and I was like, boo, yeah. No, I was like, fuck that. So I dropped the psych major and picked up a full outdoor education major, which is a great degree to have because I'll never be able to get a job that will pay off the degree. I know my dad's super happy about that because he's a finance guy, and he looks at my financial and he goes, "Ah!" That's why he had to drive 5 hours to be up here to tell me I've been cut off. Elon's great because, they encourage you to go abroad. I really love the idea that you go to a school that asks you to leave, and then still asks for money, because it's like if you leave the U.S. as a U.S. citizen, you still have to pay taxes. You leave Elon to go take classes not at Elon, and they're like, "Please give us money." But I went to Denmark. Thank you. Yeah, I went to, and I know what you're thinking. A white guy in a Scandinavian country. Is he going to fit in? How is he going to communicate? Only 85% of Danes speak English. That's a full 15% of Danes who also pretty much speak English, they just won't admit it. They'll use words like eloquent and effervescent, and I'll say, oh, ain't that purty? I tried learning Danish, so I did as all good language learners do. I downloaded Duolingo. Anyone have a Duolingo streak? Any Duolingo? Somebody, what are you learning? Are you currently doing your Duolingo? I saw you have your phone.
I have 677 days.
600? Hey, give a round of applause for her. Can you say anything to me in Italian? Say hello, my name is in Italian. That should be the first lesson in Duolingo. Anyways, my first lesson, the first word was hi, meaning hi, spelled H-E-J. Hedge. And I say that to a Duolingo, and it goes, no. So I uninstalled Duolingo. That was the end of my language learning, and it's okay, because I don't care. I took classes. Surprisingly, I know study abroad is not just drinking. I took a class called What's So Funny? It was a class on satire, and I learned, not satire. There's something profoundly unfunny about academic humor, and I'm really happy I didn't study it. I studied important things, like outdoor education. Really two places that have all the money. But the class was cool because they brought in a Danish stand-up comedian. They have them. And he told us like the history of Danish stand-up comedy. So essentially how it went, in the mid-2000s, Danish wannabe stand-up comedians came to the US, I don't think by boat, probably on Spirit Airlines, came to the US, watched our comedians, went back to Denmark, and stole their jokes. And it worked. No one ever could get past Hedge, so no one was like checking it. They don't do that anymore, so they're no longer funny. But I was so inspired that I even took notes, which again, surprising for a study abroad class. I wrote down, get Netflix subscription, re-download Duolingo, fully commit, become famous Danish stand-up comedian, profit. And so I'm gonna be doing a tour in Odense next year. I'm really excited for it, everyone. I'll be doing the comedy stylings of John Mulaney presented by Sprig, but it'll all be in Danish, so get on that Duolingo streak. Something else cool about Denmark is they have healthcare in general. And it makes like being sick kind of different. So they have a phone number you can call for non-emergency medical issues. So like if you have a headache and a runny nose, you can call them and be like, hey, I have those two things. They'll be like, oh cool, you're sick, stay home. And that's the end of that conversation. And it's different because like, you know, in the US, if I have a headache and a runny nose, the first thing I'm doing is Googling my symptoms and finding out it's terminal. And then we need to an oncologist soon. Oncologist is for cancer. For anyone who didn't know, did everyone watch Grey's Anatomy or any, you're a Grey's Anatomy fan, Benji? Is Ali still here? That's good. That's good she didn't hear that. It's not Sing 2. No, I really, one thing I'm gonna miss about college, specifically this one, is timely care. It's actually really useful because now all my care is gonna be very untimely. Like I'm not, like, so actually this was recently, I had mono recently, in theory. So after the last haha, actually, I went, and I had a sore throat, so I went to urgent care, hoping it's strep. Strep is the best thing to have when you have a sore throat, because then you just take pills and it's over with. Anything else sucks. And it wasn't strep, and I was kind of tired. So the doctor was like, hey, we should do a quick mono test. I'm like, okay. Comes back positive. And that sucks. Because, so there's two types of people when you tell them you have mono. There's the people who go, oh my God, I'm so sorry, don't kiss me. And then those who go, so what's their name? Don't worry, the guy wasn't worth it. So I'm sick for like a week. My mom comes up, the whole thing. My dad is telling me that I should go get a second opinion because his doctor friend said I should go get a second opinion. I disagree because I'm sick and I have an answer. That should be the end of it. But to get him to shut up, I end up scheduling an Elon Health Center appointment. And I go in and I'm feeling better. This is again a week later, I'm feeling better. And the doctor goes, you shouldn't be feeling better. Thanks, Doc. We should do a full blood test. I was like, ugh, I hate needles, so my parents never have to worry about me doing heroin. But they ended up putting a needle on my arm, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. You already put a needle on my arm. Check for AIDS. I'm happy to announce I don't have AIDS. I'm available without AIDS. I don't have any of the things. I don't have Lyme disease, and I don't have mono. Yeah, rare false positive on the monostat test, which is great. And it's great to not have mono, but awful that my dad was right. Like, I personally would rather have mono than my dad be right. Speaking of him, I'll come to him in a minute. Graduation is soon being 2 weeks from now, but tomorrow is lavender graduation. Give a shout for gay people. Thank you. If you don't know lavender graduation, what lavender graduation is, you'd be just like my dad. And I explained it to him. I said, oh, it's a celebrating academic achievement in queer people. And he goes, are you sure you're that? And I go, Dad, I've been over this with you. I am queer. And he goes, no, I know. Are you sure you're academically achieving? I'm happy he drove 5 hours for that. I'm scared of lavender graduation tomorrow because I think I'm just gonna see every single person I've ever seen on Tinder for the past 4 years, and half of them I've probably seen naked, and it's not gonna be a fun picture. So I'm rambling at this point because once I'm done, it's kind of over and real. I've been doing the stand-up for now 4 years. I started my J-term freshman year because I was bored as hell. And I went to do an open mic at the Idiot Box Comedy Club in Greensboro. I did a bomb, but I would never show jokes I did at that set, because it was terrible. And then I took a class on stand-up comedy there. My dad actually drove 5 hours to go see me do 5 minutes. That was a really fun set. And I've been with the Haha since kind of its inception. I didn't start this organization, but I've been with it since it's been cool. And I hope it continues to be cool. And it's been a really big part of my time here. So I wanted to leave you with 2 things. I want to leave with one of the story that kind of started it all, the first set I ever did. That was funny, not the other ones. So, I guess that has to come off, and then I do a little thing. If you can't tell by looking at me, it's okay, that's everything cool. If you can't tell by looking at me, I'm a camp counselor. It's a job that pays about as much as a stand-up comedian. It's fun. I mean, I make it fun, the kids suck. But hey, I digress. Like, I once made a person while I was there. It was pretty easy if I don't say so myself. All I did, I went to a cabin and I said, hey, my name's Sprig. And they went, cool, and then went about their day, as kids do. And then I saw that same cabin again later, and I did something very subtle. See if you can pick up on it. Hey, my name's Michael. I thought your name was Sprig. Nope, that is my twin brother. People mix us up because we look alike, but he wears a hat on account of his misshapen head. Don't bring it up to him, he's very sensitive about it. Okay, cool. And that's the end of the line of questioning from these detectives. I could have left it there, gone about my day, and let Michael fizzle out into the distance. No. I put more effort into Michael than I did my actual job. And that's all I had to do. So you can see how much that job mattered to me. And that was fun. Michael was very fun. I'm really happy I did it because it brought me to here. The issue is that I've been working at that camp for about a year prior, and Michael shows up, and the kids liked him more than me. They would make Michael friendship bracelets, and Sprig would get caught wearing them. And Michael was the hero in that situation. Michael was such a nice brother because no one giving Sprig the friendship bracelets because no one likes Sprig. Okay, they would come up to Michael to complain about Sprig. Michael, you never believe what Sprig said to me. Oh, what did he say this time? He said he doesn't like me. I'll get down on the level with Michael. should have made him a friendship bracelet. Michael always had my back. Michael's actually in the audience tonight. Give a round of applause for Michael, everybody. And if you just clap for Michael, you have the same attention span as a child. And I'm really concerned for your finals next week. And so that was the first set, and I did that set so many times. Many of my friends could probably do that set for me. And so I never did that one again until now. Ahaha is great, because it's been such a pleasure to be able to foster a community of people who want to bring joy to others for no money. Because we're not paying them. We pay them in exposure, and sometimes I don't actually give them their recordings. We've been able to raise about $1,500 in the time that I've been here for different charities. We gave money to Transcend Alamance, the Women's Resource Center, the Red Cross, and other charities that I forget the names of. And it's been such a pleasure, and I'm so happy to have been a part of it. I'm so happy for Benji. Everyone give a round of applause to Benji. Of the two of us, Benji's the more, you can come up, Benji. Benji's the more level-headed one, and I'm kind of crazy. Yeah, he gets it. And I'm really excited to be passing the show on to these two amazing people. So can Antonina and Megan please come join us on stage? You want to get it? Okay, come on, Antonina and Megan. Okay. So, so I present to you wait, the other way. This way? That's spelled right? The key to the haha and the key ring to the haha. This opens up our show and also a random locker in New York City with $10,000 in it. I want to let you know that before you think you can get this, not have to take this, I did carry this around an entire day connected to my pants. So here's a really large and annoying prop. Everyone, give a round of applause to these people. Give it up for Benji. My name is Sprig.
Everyone, Sprig has been putting work in for years. You are amazing. You're the best. This would not happen without you. Everyone, give it up for Sprig Arno.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Make sure to tip your waiters, and good night.